What's going on, guys? Steve Pulaski coming back with another review, this time of Ryan Coogler's Fruitvale Station, okay? Before I even say a word about Fruitvale Station, I want to say thank you all to those who watched my important update video about hashtag Steve for Speaker and me and my graduation speaking aspirations, I guess you would say. Thank you guys for watching that, and thank you guys, too, for your unconditional support as far as that went. You know, when I was at work thinking about how I was going to make that announcement, like I said, I decided on Facebook, and then I got home, and then I made the announcement about the announcement on Facebook. People supported it. Then when I just announced it, then when I officially announced it on Facebook, everybody just poured their support out to me, and everybody just wished me the best. People showed their support and said they were going to vote for me when the time came. So thank you guys so much for that. And I'll let you know what's going to happen, okay? I don't want to get too cocky, even though I know, but I mean, you know, I've been taking little notes about the speech and everything if I'm going to make one, and I also thought that even those who don't go to my school, who, if I do make it, want to see it, I thought I'd, get, my mom or my dad to film it or something, with their camera, and I'll find a way, and I'll upload it to YouTube like I do these videos. But like I said, guys, it's a long way off. It's almost a year away, so I don't want to dwell too much on it, but I do want to say thank you guys for the support, and like I said, here, giving you guys another video review, Fruitvale Station, okay? Again, so, and also my review of The Conjuring's up, which took me a while to get up, so I apologize for that, but that's live right now on my YouTube channel. Anyway, Fruitvale Station, what a movie, what an experience. I don't even think of it too much as a movie, I think of it as more of an event, okay? That's what it was. So, the plot of the movie, I'm going to go right out and say it, okay, because the movie wants you to know it even before you see it, and even before you see the actual movie, it comes out and admits what you're watching is the true story of Oscar Grant III, okay? He was a man living in Oakland, California. He was 22 years old. He's young. He's kind of a gentle guy. He is a convicted felon, though. By the way, he is a convicted felon. And what winds up happening is, it's like I said, it's a true story. Oscar Grant was shot dead in Oakland, California, at the Bay Area. I think it's a BART station, Bay Area. I'm looking right here. Bay Area Rapid Transit Station. Okay, that's what it was called. But yeah, he was shot dead over there because basically there was like a fight on a crowded train, and he got in the middle of it, and then they went and they tried to apprehend everybody, and then they say he was accidentally shot. Okay, but now, the thing is, though, before I even go into anything about the movie, though, I really got to give Ryan Coogler some credit here as a director, okay, and the writer. But I got to give him this because he wants you to know the fate of Oscar Grant before you even see the movie, okay? I knew a little bit about the story, not a whole ton. It was right around that time when I still wasn't getting too much in the news, but I did remember when it happened. And here's the thing. He wants you to know what happened, okay, in the beginning. And if a filmmaker, like I said, last year we saw Argo, okay, we saw Lincoln. We knew how those movies were going to end before we even saw them. But if a filmmaker can make the inevitable interesting, I always need to give him credit, because that's a hard thing to do. When you know the outcome, especially if smaller stories like Oscar Grant, okay, everybody knows the story of Lincoln. A lot of people know the story of the Iranian hostage crisis. Not a lot of people still know about Oscar Grant. I still kind of feel that Oscar Grant's still a left-out character. But the fact that even Coogler wants to come out and say, here's what happened, and then show you, and the ending is still as affecting as it is, that is a very hard thing for a filmmaker to do, make the inevitable interesting and emotional, okay? So I love what he did there. But anyway, it basically talks about Oscar Grant, and it shows the last day of his life, okay, which was New Year's Eve, 2008. And he wakes up kind of with the mindset that he wants to be better to his family and to his friends and everything. And he's got a girlfriend named Sofina. She's played by Melanie Diaz, who's wonderful here. He's got a young daughter. I can't remember how old she was. And he's got a lot of friends and everything. He's got a guy, and he had a job at the local supermarket, but he got fired, okay? And he goes into the supermarket, he talks to his friend, this one woman helps out, and this one woman's having a fish fry, and she doesn't know anything about it, so she asks Oscar, and Oscar calls his grandmother to let her talk to her, okay? So even in these little seemingly insignificant setups is when we still really see that Oscar Grant is a good character and is a good guy, despite the felony charges for drugs, despite him thinking that he's going to go back on the streets and sling dope for a living. There's still that guy there that really leaves that mark on his acquaintances and leaves that mark on his friends and family, okay? So when his death does come around, you realize how deep you realize there's going to be a hole in many people's hearts, okay? Anyway, continuing on, though, like I said, the movie is basically the last day of his life up until that inevitable shooting. And let me say, this is one of the most emotional movies of the year, okay? I just saw the way back last week, and that was pretty damn sad. Blew that one out of the water as far as emotional goes. Don't get me wrong, they're two different movies, okay? One involves adultery, the other involves death, okay? So, I'm telling you, Fruitvale Station is an insanely emotional experience. I could feel it in the theater. I mentioned in my written review, which is up now. It's in the link below. But I mentioned in my written review, though, that the emotional impact this had on the audience was boom. I could feel it, all right? There's like this wave of sadness and just despair I could feel, man. There were sobs. There were stray comments about this thing. Some people just gasped. Some people just shook their head. And it was a really... And the thing is, though, even if you went in not knowing a damn thing about Oscar Grant, you didn't even know this was a true story. The opening scene tells you all you need to know about Oscar Grant. It shows you cell phone footage that was taken at the BART train station the moment he was shot, okay? And also, another film critic said this, but I felt I'd reiterate it. I can't remember his name, but I saw it on Rotten Tomatoes. You know, constantly when we watch action movies, too, we hear non-stop gunfire. Just every 5 minutes, it's just rounds of ammunition being unloaded, sometimes in the sky, sometimes into people, whatever. There's only one gunshot in this movie if you count during the dramatization, which I hate even calling it that because it doesn't even feel like what. It doesn't follow any sort of convention or sort of like narrative scheme that goes along with that. You know what I mean? It just kind of it follows like a normal, like a movie or an event, or like, you know what I mean, like one of those mystery shows almost. But the catch, what I'm trying to say here is, though, there's only one gunshot heard in Fruitvale Station. And it is more powerful, if not equally, if not more powerful, than the gunshots, you know what I mean, the endless firepower you hear in action movies. That's the one thing I have to mention big time. It still shows that the power of one bullet that can end a human's life, one bullet can end a human's life. And that really shows it right there. And it's a sad, sad movie, I'm telling you right now. Oscar Grant is played by Michael B. Jordan, no relation to the basketball player. I thought he was his son because I'm stupid, okay? But no, it's not that. It's not the case. But anyway, what I'm saying though with Michael B. Jordan is he's been in a couple movies. He was in The Wire, that's a TV show. He was in Friday Night Lights, both of which I've never even seen. He was good in Chronicle, okay? Chronicle, he was the third guy in Chronicle, and one of the lead guys that gets the superpowers, okay? He was good in that. He's even better in this, and I might be, some people say I might be acting on present emotion, but I don't think I am. I think Michael B. Jordan deserves an Oscar nod because he is so brilliant in this movie, because he's a layered character. He can convey emotion with his eyes and his facial expressions so subtly and so powerfully that it's just astonishing. And he's one of the youngest talents that I think you should watch for out now. I'm definitely going to be looking for this guy. Same with Ryan Coogler, this is his directorial debut. Reminds me a lot of the directorial debut of John Singleton, okay, who did Boys in the Hood. That was his film with Cuba Gooding Jr., Morris Chestnut, Ice Cube, Lawrence Fishburne. Excellent, excellent movie. That one is about almost a little bit, but Fruitvale's a little bit below Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood is still an emotionally powerful movie, but it goes to show that black people are not all black people are like these thuggish criminals that we see on TV. And even living in Chicago, man, you can't turn on the news without hearing about a homicide, a senseless murder, a robbery, a rape, or you know what I mean? You can't go a day without hearing that crap, especially, like I said, living in Chicago. I mean, so it's like when you see a movie like this, and that's why I think these movies about black characters really get people ask, like, oh, that was overrated if it's like kind of something like this. I think the thing is, though, a lot of people we're so used to seeing white people in the struggle, but we never really see black people in the struggle. And then in this recent wave of filmmaking, we are seeing it, and that's why I think movies like Fruitvale Station, and like I said, I'm not even like inflating my rating for that. This is a genuinely great movie. If the race has nothing nothing to do with it, okay? I mean, if it was a white guy, for Christ's sake, hell, it would still be, if you take out everything and put white characters in it, it's still a great movie. Race has nothing to do with it. I'm just trying to, you know, bring out why I think that Fruitvale Station, I know some people are going to call this overrated, emotionally manipulative, or whatever, but I think that's why this movie gets such high acclaim. It probably would have gotten maybe around the same, maybe a little bit lower if it was a white character, but like I said, it's race. I don't want to get into it. It's stupid, okay? It's a stupid thing to argue about, and it has nothing to do with this movie. Even the Ryan Coogler, who's in a bold position, especially with the Trayvon Martin ruling, especially with George Zimmerman, you know, all that race and make it about black versus white, but he doesn't do that, and that's another bold directorial move on his part. He lets you think what you want at the end of this movie. I wasn't even thinking about race, you know, a white cop shot a black guy at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I wasn't even thinking about that. That doesn't even cross my mind. What crossed my mind is the senseless death of this guy, okay? And that's what Fruitvale is aiming for. It wants you to think about that. And even I think Coogler knows in a way that race is a stupid issue to talk about in this movie. You know, there's a human's life. A human is dead now. That's what I think it's trying to say. I don't know. I went into this much more in my review. I really want you guys to read it. This is a bold movie. It deserves to be seen. It honestly makes me depressed in a way that this is probably not going to get half the viewership it deserves. Everybody's going to be going to see Wolverine this weekend. You know what I mean? And they're just going to look past Fruitvale Station as another stupid indie movie. I'm telling you, now one of the best movies of the year. 4 stars goes to Fruitvale Station. I can't wait to see what Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler do next, even if they choose to stick together, which I wouldn't be surprised, or if they choose to go their separate ways, which would be great, you know, great as well. I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. I'll just be in the theater waiting to see what's going to happen, waiting to see some more magic happen like I did with Fruitvale Station. I'm trying to make this not sound corny and cliche. You guys know I hate doing that crap, and I'm afraid I'm speaking in cliches, but even as I was writing the review, man, tears are coming back, man, trying to think about this. You know what I mean? Even as I think about, like, the climax again, and it's like I'm not trying to do this, again, to be emotionally manipulative or to try and convince you guys to see it. I'm just saying what kind of an effect this had on me as a viewer, and this is a bold, notable effect. Thank you guys for watching. Sub if you haven't. I'll talk to you later. Bye.